We have been following the story of these magnificent creatures for some time now, the endangered North Atlantic right whale. There are just over 400 of them left on the planet, and marine biologists have been working to bring the species back. This morning, there is some good news to share from these scientists, and Brett Ruskin is handling that. If one surfaces behind you there, that will be a story in itself, Brett. But
someone tweet me if you see it behind me. Yes.
I certainly will. I will interrupt if we do. Anyway, you get some good news this morning, so tell us, you've been covering this for us throughout. What's the latest?
Well, covering this for 2 years, Heather. It was 2 years ago that we actually began talking about the North Atlantic right whale and the plight and the trouble that they are having, this critically endangered species. But today, some good news. The Department of Fisheries and Oceans, Fisheries and Oceans Canada, has confirmed that A, the whales are back in Canadian waters for their annual migration, beginning to make their way up here, and they have spotted 7 new baby whales, 7 new calves, North Atlantic right whale calves, which is really a big deal for this species, in which every single animal is counted. The last count was around 411 of these whales left around there. They're going to certainly update that count now. Heather.
You know, part of the thing with this particular species of whale is that reproduction is so slow. They breed every 1 to 3 years. So 7 calves. This is really significant. But tell us about what the population has been through and the difficulties of growing this population and the species.
Sure, yeah. So a quick recap as to what we've seen over the last couple of years. 2017, the summer, was just an awful summer for the North Atlantic right whale. There was more than a dozen whales found off the coast of Canada and the United States. It seemed like every week we were discovering and hearing about a new whale carcass found floating off the coast. And so 2017 was bad. 2018 wasn't great either, because the whales did migrate back to Canada, to the Gulf of St. Lawrence, but there were no new whales found, no new calves, no new babies created, born from this North Atlantic right whale population, which is obviously problematic if you're trying to rebuild a species. So this is significant. This is, again, the first calves that we've seen in the last year or 2 years, I suppose. Again, 7 new right whales have been spotted in the Gulf of St. Lawrence. Those measures to try to protect the whales are still in place as well. Keep in mind the speed reduction for large vessels passing through the area where North Atlantic right whales are known to be found, as well as fishing restrictions in the areas where right whales are known to be found, as well as a very flexible area that can be where fishing can be restricted when right whales are spotted. All of this is to try to protect these whales. And the interesting thing is, these new right whales, these baby right whales who are only 1 year old, they don't know what it was like before these restrictions came into place, when it was a little bit more dangerous for whales. So Canada seems like a great place now to try to rebuild this species. Heather.
Brett, love to share the good news with you this morning. Thank you. Live in Halifax, our Brett Ruskin.